What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to Ben Travels TV. And coming up next, we head to Daytona Beach, Florida, as we give you guys a full tour of Daytona International Speedway, where NASCAR holds its most famous race, the Daytona 500. We're going to give you guys a behind-the-scenes tour, off the track, on the track, behind the scenes, all the way to the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America. And you guys aren't going to want to miss this one. All right, you guys, welcome back to my channel. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. We are in Daytona Beach, Florida, and we're headed to the Daytona International Speedway, home to NASCAR's biggest race, their Super Bowl race, which is the Daytona 500. It kicks off the NASCAR season in the month of February every year. All right, so this is a bucket list item of mine. Grew up in the mid to late 90s as a huge Jeff Gordon fan. So I've always wanted to come here to Daytona and check this racetrack out. So we're going to do a full tour. We're going to give you guys a tour of the track. We're going to give you a tour behind the scenes, sit in the stands, and we're also going to check out the Hall of Fame. All right, growing up as a Jeff Gordon fan, he won the Daytona 500 in 97, 99, and 05. And who can forget about the Intimidator? And that is Dale Earnhardt. He finally got his Daytona 500 win in 1998 and unfortunately passed away here on this racetrack in 2001. So a little nostalgic feeling, bring me back to those good old NASCAR days in the late 90s and early 2000s. I will check back with you guys in a little bit. Enjoy the tour. Hello.
Where are you guys from?
Tampa. Yeah.
Is that real or fake? It has plugs. It's fake.
Real.
That says real.
It's a real one. That's the one they go and see. Yeah, but it doesn't have a lifetime, but it's a real one. All right, so this is pretty cool here. You can see the interior of a stock car. You can see how they are built from the inside out. Some of those safety features in there that keep the driver safe. And that is pretty cool to see that as soon as you walk here into the lobby of the Daytona International Speedway. All right, so tickets, about $26. We didn't do a VIP tour. We just did a regular tour. kids 4 and under are free. I think my kids, since they're older, both over 4, they paid $21. So very inexpensive. They have tours going all day, so check the website for different dates and times and see what's going on at the track the day that you are planning to come visit.
It was so much fun.
And I love the grass parking area. So when you go early, you can tailgate, and it's a fun tailgate. It's not down by us, Dolphin Stadium. It's just, it's all asphalt and it's hot. It's not, you don't have a nice grass area. So I so love the way the games.
Going on the weekend as well. And they decided to stay on with me for 2 years. And they ended up at our Speedway, started to race on asphalt instead of the
Well, there's enough.
When you come back to Daytona, if NRE is on our Speedway, that means you can buy a ticket to take a ride in a race car. But today they're not on track, so you'll have to come back when they are. Now, when they're on track, you can actually buy a ticket to take a ride in a race car. When it's your turn, you'll cross the window of one of those cars. You'll see it right next to a professional driver. That driver will take you 3 laps around the speedway and speed to about 170 miles an hour.
Shocking how big it is.
You might be wondering how much something like that would cost you.
The only NASCAR race I've been to is at California Motor Speedway.
No way, how was it?
It was in Fontana. It was really nice. Yeah.
Now that's a smaller track.
Yeah.
Is that where they do Clash of the Coliseum?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's way smaller.
Right. Is this? That's for this is the RV show they're having. So the front midway here is about a mile long. So if you park right here and your seats are all the way on the other side. Best recommendation is get a Yeti backpack, fill it up with a cooler of drinks, and then go to your seats and you're good to go.
One lap with them is about 2.9 miles. And today they're doing one lap, which is 3.5 miles. Now looking to my far right at the infield of turns 3 and 4, that does turn into the Geico campground area. You come in for 7 to 10 minutes with their family. Start setting up. I'm going to try and pull in here, see if I can point out a couple things for the fan zone. Now the fan zone is a typical area for the fans, of course. He also is and turns into a jumbotron. But underneath it, you'll see a yellow and white garage back in.
Daniel, they take the Jumbotron down.
All those white doors would be rolled out.
That's all screaming.
There's the event, and off to the right of that, you start noticing the red and white walls in the garages. Each one with a video viewing, also a
Sorry, yes, absolutely.
so when you have a ticket for the fans, don't head over to those garages. Peek through the windows and watch very much as you like, or you can actually stay in here as long as you like. And looking out to my right, you'll see some more garages. The white garages from the Infinity Garage 24-hour race. You notice some of them have their headlights on. They will have brake lights. It is
All right, you guys. So how the tour works, you get on a trolley. It's about 30 or so people, and they give you a tour first around the racetrack, the stadium, which seats about 125,000. It is pretty large. It's really massive. And there was an event going on. There was some type of race or some type of practice going on while we were here. So usually they take you out on the racetrack. They take you to Victory Lane and Pit Road. We didn't get to do that per se, but we did get to go out by the track and see some of the cars racing. We got to go close to Pit Road. We didn't get to go down into the garage. So definitely check the schedule, see what is going on, and check the calendar of events if something is going on the day that you schedule the tour, so you don't end up like I did and not be able to go down to Victory Lane. But overall, it was still a great tour. This stadium is absolutely massive. We met a great family from West Palm Beach and had a great time, had a blast. Would love to attend a actual Daytona 500 race with them in the future. So if you guys are watching this video, reach out to me. All right. Great people you meet and come across in Florida. All right. Now, as we go through the racetrack, I'll check back with you guys and give you guys more information about the Daytona 500 as the tour goes along.
You've never had the opportunity to sign your autograph down on the official street line. You can use this one. Jump in here. Time for
Brutal.
Really?
The dry heat is so bad.
Oh my goodness.
Doesn't stop. And then it starts back up in February.
Right. So I've never been in.
All right, you guys, I was in awe and absolutely blown away by how beautiful and how large the Daytona International Speedway was. Seeing a lot of races there. You know, unfortunately, the passing of Dale Earnhardt saw him win there as well. Jeff Gordon win there. It was awesome to witness. Now, we are at the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America, and that is the Daytona 500 winner from 2023, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s car. So that car stays there for a year, and they replace it with the new winner. Now, this place is amazing, guys. Stay tuned. This video is very long, but I was absolutely blown away by this Hall of Fame.
Wait.
Gordon, that's my favorite racer.
This one?
Yep, that's the one I have. Jeff Gordon.
Wait, can I see?
Yes. 98.
That's just a
All right, so the Daytona 500 has been around since 1959, and this is the Daytona Wall of Fame. That's Richard Petty there, the king. He has 7 Daytona 500 victories. He also has 7 NASCAR Championship Series wins. The most in the history of NASCAR is Jeff Gordon there, and Dale Earnhardt next to him, one in 97 and 98. Dale Earnhardt Sr. had 1 Daytona 500 win, and my favorite driver there, Jeff Gordon, had 3. All right, so Jeff Gordon won in, I think it was 1997, 99, and 05. All right, and he has 4 NASCAR championships. Dale Earnhardt Sr. has 7, tied Richard Petty. They call Richard Petty the king. Dale Earnhardt right behind him, Jimmy Johnson, has 7 as well, and he is still an active racer. All right, I'll check back with you guys in a bit. Were you guys at this race?
So we were at the one where Ricky Stenhouse Jr. he won. Yes.
That's the one. Okay.
And then they said the baking that they had the sample, somebody broke it, so I think the handrail was off, so they couldn't. What's that? So the one from so not the new series, but the one just before this. We had the final one. And so we were just transitioning. Out of a bunch of them. So absolutely. Oh, no. Yeah. Then you'll always remember NASCAR. So when they come through, when they take the drill to the lug nuts, they do that for the so they have the Cup Series and then.
All right, that was pretty cool. The family that we were with, they ended up giving my son one of the lug nuts from one of the stock cars, which is pretty awesome. So my son keeps that lug nut on his desk in his room, and it's very special to him to have that gift given to him from somebody that we just met. Like I said, awesome family that we met from West Palm Beach. All right, now we are in the Hall of Fame. This is pretty much a museum. You see all the stock cars here, all the history, all the trophies, from helmets to motorcycles to open cars, open wheel cars. Absolutely beautiful, guys. This was my favorite part of the tour. All right, this was definitely my favorite part of the tour. They're honoring great achievements in all forms of motorsports. Like I said, stock cars, sports cars, open wheel cars, motorcycles, drag racing, off-road, right? Power boating and aviation, right? It's the only place in the world where you and your family will see all these forms of racing under one roof. Man, if you have a need for speed, this is the place to be. All right, so much history. I love this museum. I think for the price, you can't get any better than this. All right, so this is where Daytona 500, this is where it started. It has transitioned over the years since 1959. Okay, so like I said, Daytona 500 is the most prestigious race in NASCAR. and it is their opening event, right? So you open the season with a bang with your biggest race of the season. Kind of sets the tempo going forward. All right. And it has been repaved over the years, and they have added seating. You got about 125,000 seats. So my goal one day is to attend. Like I said, the only NASCAR race that I ever attended was in Fontana. I think it's the Auto Club 400 or 500. And I was able to see Jeff Gordon before he retired. But now that I come from being a fan so young, in the mid 90s to the late 90s into the mid to late-ish 2010-ish, with Jeff Gordon gone, Dale Earnhardt, Michael Waltrip, Bobby Labonte, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson. That's kind of my era. Rusty Wallace. I think I said Ken Harvick. You had Busch, Kurt Busch, and Kyle Busch. You had a lot of different drivers that I grew up watching that are pretty much done now. I don't even know half the drivers now. So I'm pretty much stuck on nostalgia in my era, just pretty much like basketball. I grew up watching Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, the Lakers, Shaquille O'Neal, that era, right? So I'm not into the current basketball. I can still kind of keep up with football, but I feel like, of course, being my age, that my era was better. So yeah, I don't watch really a lot of sports. I keep up with baseball probably more than any of the other sports. All right. But this is definitely a sight to see. Look at all the history here that you have. And for only $26, you can't beat it. And I would say, like I said, check the schedule. Make sure there's nothing going on. That's the only thing I regret. I wanted to go down to Victory Lane. I wanted to get into pit road. But like I said, I will definitely check out a Daytona 500 race, and I want to get the behind the scenes tickets. I want to go into pit road. I want to go into the garage. I want to enjoy another race, because when I went to Fontana, California Motor Speedway, I had a blast. It was one of the best sporting events that I ever been to, was attending a NASCAR race, right? I have my list up there. Buccaneers definitely made it on the list. I will definitely have to say I went to see Barcelona when Lionel Messi and Thierry Henry, that was when the FC Barcelona were in their prime. All right, so I was able to see Messi, I was able to see Henry, I was able to see David Beckham when they played the Los Angeles Galaxy in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl. That was probably one of the best events that I've ever been to in person. I love these types of things. You guys will see a lot of these types of videos on my channel. Tons of museums, tons of sightseeing, tons of old historical places, and food, adventure. This is what this channel is all about. All right, you guys, I'll check back with you guys in a little bit and give you guys some more info on the Daytona 500 tour. this was awesome. I got to see Richard Petty's car here, which when I first started watching NASCAR and started to dig into its history, I saw how Richard Petty influenced a lot of the great drivers like Dale Earnhardt Sr. And then when I started watching NASCAR, it was all about Dale Earnhardt Sr. and catching the king, Richard Petty. So this was definitely a eye-popping moment, eye-opening moment for me to just see these stock cars right in front of me, right? And of course, the DuPont, the Rainbow Warrior Jeff Gordon. This was definitely a dream of mine. I was just in shock and awe to see this car, because by the time I saw him at California Motor Speedway, he was driving, I think, the Pepsi car at that time, because he had changed teams. I know he was with Hendrick Motorsports, Ray Averham. They changed early on in his prime, right? And he ended up changing to another team. I can't remember which team, but he was driving the Coca-Cola car and he changed colors. But this car right here, the DuPont Rainbow Warrior car, this was it. This is what got me into NASCAR. Seeing the colors, like I said, I like the Buccaneers way back because they changed their uniforms to the pirate uniforms with the pirate theme at the stadium. I was all in. Same thing with this DuPont. I was trying to pick between Dale Earnhardt. I was like, let me go with the guy who's the best or the guy who's up and coming. And I started watching Jeff Gordon. I kept seeing him winning pole after pole. I said, I kind of like this Jeff Gordon guy. So I stuck with him, and I've been a fan. He's been my favorite racer, my favorite driver ever since I started watching NASCAR. And of course, Jimmy Johnson, he took the shine away. Him and Tony Stewart at that time took the shine away. I'm not a big open wheel guy. I follow Formula One. I used to watch the Indy 500, the Grand Prix of Monaco. I've been to an Indy race. I've been to Long Beach Grand Prix out in Long Beach, California. So those are the two races I've attended. So Long Beach Grand Prix in Long Beach, California. And I've also been to California Motor Speedway attending a stock car race, NASCAR. All right. So, but I am more of a fan. I like the oval track. I love NASCAR. I love the whole thinking side of it, going to making your pit stops, going to pit road, making those adjustments throughout the week, trying to qualify and things like that. That's what I love about NASCAR. Now, this right here was pretty cool. It looks like it's part of the track here. You got all of these cars. You've got some motorcycles up at the top. And then, of course, you've got Dale, number 3 Goodwrench Chevy there, which is awesome. All right. So I'll check back with you guys in a little bit. Enjoy the tour. right, so this is pretty cool. This is a Wheaties box of Ray Evernham. Back then, we used to collect Wheaties boxes, right? They were collectibles. We used to collect the Michael Jordan ones, the King Griffey Jr. ones. Anybody who was your favorite that you followed or grew up watching in sports, you would collect that Wheaties box. All right, so Ray Evernham, he was the crew chief for Jeff Gordon and Hendrick Motorsports back in the 90s when Jeff Gordon won the Winston Cup Series. That's what it used to be called before they changed to Nextel and Sprint, and I can't even keep up anymore now. But he helped Jeff Gordon win in 95, 97, 98, and 2001. So you got to remember, Jeff Gordon had 4 titles. He was on that same trajectory that Tiger Woods was when he was trying to catch Jack Nicklaus in majors. All right, Tiger Woods never won another major. Jeff Gordon never won another NASCAR championship after Ray Evernham left Hendrick Motorsports at that time. All right, and unfortunately, Dale Sr. passed away before he could try and surpass Richard Petty, who is the king. Won in 64, 67, 71, 72, 74, 75, 79. Dale Earnhardt won in 1980, 86, 87, 1990, 91, 93, and 94. And after he won in 94, Jeff Gordon came in and won his first in 95, which kind of sparked a rivalry between Dale Sr. and Jeff Gordon, being the young guy on the block, taking wins from him, right? Jeff Gordon was winning the Daytona 500 early, and then I think Gordon won Daytona 500 in 97, and then Dale Earnhardt Sr. came back and won it in 98, right? So they're just going back and forth. That's what made me a fan of NASCAR back then, right? It was absolutely awesome. And then Jeff Gordon came back and won the Daytona 500 in 99, right? So right in between. So that was what made NASCAR enjoyable, the rivalries, the history, and that's what made me a fan. That's what makes me love this museum, because they show so much of the history here at this Hall of Fame / museum. All right, you guys, so we're in the pit shop making our way out as we conclude the tour. We had an absolute blast. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's very long, well over 40 plus minutes. Thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. Thank you guys for your comments. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. Thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. I will be dropping more content in Daytona Beach on our staycation. We're actually going to head and get something to eat, and we'll also give you guys a tour of Daytona Beach, some different things to do around the city, and do a lot more night sightseeing at night and during the daytime. All right, you guys, I'll leave links in the description to other videos. Thanks for watching this video. If you're ever in Daytona Beach, you definitely got to check out Daytona International Speedway. It is the heartbeat of the city, and is definitely a monument here, a running and living monument here that is going to forever be in the state of Florida and definitely in the city of Daytona Beach. Thank you guys for watching. Coming to you from Florida, I'm out of here.